remember how I said earlier in this speech that the farmers need to give up their farms before 2030, specifically that year? Yeah, so that's not a coincidence. That year doesn't come out of nowhere. So that year is basically the deadline that our global elites have given our country and will probably give you to abide by these new regulations. And that agenda is called the 2030 agenda. And now I have a slide showing you what that entails. So the 2030 agenda is a United Nations agenda. So there we go. Everybody's part of the United Nations, right? The entire world. And this agenda consists of 17 what they call sustainable development goals. And when you take a look at them right there, you're like, oh, what's wrong with that? You know, they all seem very noble. No poverty, no hunger. Who could be against that? However, if we take a closer look at how they actually want to accomplish all of this, anybody with two functioning brain cells realizes that this cannot happen unless there is an active and maybe even forceful redistribution of goods, foods, property, and our rights, which basically comes down to the obliteration of all of our basic liberties and our rights. And these goals, as I said, are not restricted solely to the Netherlands. They are global. And that's where we see their true motive. The people behind this want to establish a one world government, a new world order in which they decide what we eat, when we eat, where we travel, when we travel, who we meet, and what we are allowed to spend our money on. Basically, control over every single aspect of our lives. And I'm sure that many of you have heard the famous sentence from Klaus Schwab, you know, where he says, "You'll own nothing and you'll be happy," right? Yeah, that's this agenda. So why are the people behind this agenda specifically targeting farmers? Well, it's because obviously they really want our way of life and the things that we eat to radically change. They don't want us to eat foods that make us strong. They want us to eat synthetic meat created by Bill Gates. They want us to eat bugs. They want us to drink soy milk so that we become weak and obedient, and we do as they say, and we buy what they offer.
All right, Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Makakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone. Salutations to all the brothers and a few sisters out there. Unto Israelite foreigners from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Shalom in the Hebrew, which means peace. This is a quick lesson to the spirit of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai. She said it, I ain't say it. And the agenda of the elites is clearer by the moment. It's clearer by the day because of the fact their ambitious planning is at full course. And what they always tend to do is they tell you, no, they don't tell you, I'm sorry. Well, they do tell you with films. They obviously wrote these things in books many, many years ago. They put it in films, commercials, songs, whatever they can to broadcast what their agenda is. And unbeknownst to the people, that their agenda is to eliminate the majority of them. So that's one part. Then as they're doing certain things, they attend to distract you from their true agenda. In other words, you don't know, nor are you concerned, because of the fact is you're comfortable with the way you're living. So overall, these people, these higher elites that have all you civilians, everybody in the world, paper chasing, all right, who's had everybody's mind on the most minute thing possible, and in reality, they've been plotting in order to overthrow everybody on the planet Earth. These are some sick, sadistic mother effers. There was something else I was thinking about earlier, and how evil. How that's yeah, same thing. Like when I mean same thing. The thing I was thinking about too is when they had um quote unquote slaves, blacks in America, and the slaves they would go into the slave quarters in the middle of the night to take a baby and use that baby as alligator bait. Why would you do something like that? You already have the people that you have under you is already submitted to you full force. But that's to show you how sick and evil these people are, how sadistic they are. All right, couple of scriptures, like I said, um, Psalms 37 and 12. It says, "The wicked plotteth against the just, and gnasheth his teeth upon with his teeth." So the wicked plotteth. When you look up the word plotteth, well, it says right here, the wicked plot against the godly, that snars at them in defense. So they create an atmosphere and remove everybody. They take everybody in their riches, remove those riches from those people to leave them defenseless. Because what the scripture says, what money is a defense. Okay, money is a defense. So everybody's paper chasing, and as far and what you're chasing is not the real thing that they need. They need real estate. They need land. This is what that woman was saying. What she's saying, they wanted the farmer's land. Okay, so that way they can control the food resources, and they don't tend to give anybody proper food. And she said it as well. She said they want to give people bugs and all this abominable thing because in reality they want to get rid of the majority of the people. I forgot where I saw it, but everybody knows it. They had a thing called the Georgia Guidestone, which was plain. It was an ambitious plan that they had of their 10 Commandments. And this thing has been a landmark in America for a long period of time. Until recently, during the pandemic, so happens the lightning struck the stones, because the stones, it was 10 Commandments of the stones in all different languages. And one of the main commandment was to have the world's population at 500 million, because of the simple fact it's more manageable to control that much people on the planet Earth. So they plot, and their plotting is deep and it's sadistic. It's a sadistic thing that's coming from out of the minds of these people, and they plainly tell you what they're going to do, and nobody takes them serious because why? Everybody think it's a joke. The joke's on the people. All right, and this is why they do the things that they do, is because people are unaware of the actions that these leaders have in plan for them. Micah 2:1, it says, "Woe to them that deviseth iniquity plotteth," all right, because that's the device of his plan. So they sit there and plan these things out. All right, what is iniquity? Sin. So they plan out sinful things, right? And work evil upon their beds, bringing bad timing for people. Because that's what evil means. Evil means bad time. Time, ill. So they plotted bad time for the people. That's what this whole thing is all about. How to make everybody's life miserable. Keep the sheep. The Romans did the same thing. It was a thing called bread and circuses. So while the Roman Empire was collapsing and the rich was getting richer, they would throw gladiator games out there to keep the people distracted from the actual things of what was happening. And people didn't know at that time that their money was worthless. Their money was called, I think it was called the Naris or the Naris or something like that. And the gold, silver, mainly silver, it was tainted, so it wasn't the actual set amount. They was putting what it was putting 10 silver, gold are precious metals. So it was putting unprecious metals into the money system, which destroys the value. Then the Roman Empire, what did they do? Rome was scattered throughout the whole four corners of earth. And why they were scattered? No, not the four corners, but the known world, the Mediterranean area, because it was always at war. So the armies were spread thin. Okay, so the whole time people